Cyberpunk Edgerunners Mission Kit announced, letting you run tabletop campaigns like the anime. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world, action-adventure role-playing video game, developed and published by CD Projekt RED that was released December 10, 2020. The game was announced during the 2012 CD Projekt RED Summer Conference as the official video game adaptation of Mike Pondsmith's pen and paper RPG Cyberpunk 2020. An expansion for the video game, called Phantom Liberty, is set to release in 2023. A sequel, codenamed Orion, is set to start development subsequently. Cyberpunk Edgerunners may have been largely inspired by the video game Cyberpunk 2077, but soon everything will go full circle with the Cyberpunk Edgerunners module for the tabletop game. Talsorian Games, makers of the Witcher and Cyberpunk Red tabletop RPGs, have just announced the Cyberpunk Edgerunners Mission Kit, a new starter box set in Night City. The Mission Kit will come with everything players need to adventure in the Night City setting of the hit Netflix series, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, including all the essential rules and lore surrounding Night City and edgerunning. Cyberpunk 2077 is a continuation of the events of Cyberpunk 2020, taking an alternate path to that of Cyberpunk version 3.0. The game is set in the dystopian metropolis of Night City. It is set in the Free State of Northern California. Night City is located south of San Francisco, around the area of Morro Bay, California. During Cyberpunk 2020, Night City is said to have a population of more than 5 million inhabitants. However, this number is suspected to be considerably larger in 2077. Following an economic collapse sometime during the early 21st century, the United States is forced to rely on large corporations to survive. These corporations deal in a wide range of areas, such as weapons, robotics, cybernetics, pharmaceuticals, communications, and biotechnology. Many of these companies operate above the law. The game follows the story of V, a hired gun on the rise in Night City, the most violent and dangerous metropolis of the corporate-ruled future. A robust character creator will allow players to choose V's gender, visual appearance, as well as historical background, all of which may influence the shape of the game. The world is inspired by the works of authors such as William Gibson, author of Neuromancer, and Philip K. Dick, whose novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And subsequent movie adaptation Blade Runner heavily influenced the creator, Mike Pondsmith, in creating the original tabletop RPG. The Cyberpunk Edgerunners Mission Kit will guide fans of the series new to tabletop role-playing through the process of telling their own stories in Night City, Talsorian added. At the same time, existing players of Cyberpunk Red will get their first glimpse into the cyberware, firepower, and netrunning skills of the 2077 era. The new starter box will be for Talsorian's Cyberpunk Red tabletop system, which is the latest edition of the classic RPG featuring updated mechanics and new lore. It's set halfway between Cyberpunk 2020 and Cyberpunk 2077, although the Edgerunner Mission Kit will presumably be closer to 2077 in terms of date. The box starter is still in development, so stay tuned to Talsorian's Twitter and Instagram feeds for more details. Cyberpunk 2077 is enjoying quite the resurgence thanks to Edgerunners, with CDPR crediting the Netflix series with passing the game over 20 million copies sold. Edgerunners DLC helped players get further immersed in the lore of the anime, and what CDPR didn't officially release, modders are picking up the slack. Despite its popularity, however, don't expect Edgerunners to return for a second season. During an interview with CDPR developers, they mentioned their inspirations for how to develop the smaller and bigger stories that would be compelling. The team looked at the critically acclaimed anime film Akira and the renowned video game Vampire: The Masquerade, Bloodlines. Hiroshi Sakakibara, Environment City Coordinator at CD Projekt RED, when asked about what was the main inspiration for Night City in Cyberpunk 2077 during the Tokyo Game Show 2020, Sakakibara mentioned how Blade Runner was one of more obvious inspirations. He also mentioned the team had also learned from Japanese anime and manga in the genre, such as Akira and the Ghost in the Shell series. All the story and dialogue in the game was written in Polish, as the majority of CD Projekt Studio employees are Poles, and then translated to English. The English version then became the basis for all the other dubs. As of December 2020, the game has sold 13 million copies.